If you know you've been at PAC for any length of time, you've heard us use just the word community. This is a community. We're trying to build community. We believe we belong in community. And when you think of the word community, do you really think of a body? Do you really think of a body joined together, held together, each part, every part, working properly, a mature adult body with the stature of the fullness of Christ? That is what Jesus is envisioning. That's what he's trying to build. That's what he's trying to equip. That's what Jesus imagines when he thinks of the community, the body of Christ. So based on this, let's just reflect and think about how we're doing. Well, if he's providing equipping, and he's using the apostles and the prophets and the evangelists and the teachers and the shepherds to provide equipping. When is the last time you felt equipped? Honestly, I hope it happens every week. Whether it's through Sundays or your community group or the young adult gathering or youth group or PAC kids, whatever it happens, I hope it happens every week. Is that happening for you? Let's have an honest conversation about this. Are you growing? Principle number 2, are you growing? Both individually as well as are we growing together? Here's an honest question. Do you feel tossed? Do you feel tossed to and fro and carried about by every wind of doctrine or human cunning or craftiness or deceitful schemes? Have you felt tossed about recently? It is time to grow when we feel tossed. It shows us it's time to grow. Do you have any idea about how you were designed to work alongside other believers using your unique gifting? Have you started figuring that out? Where are you out in the process of figuring out how you were created and designed? You are God's workmanship, his craftiness. He has created with you with specific purposes and giftings in the body of Christ. There is so much in the New Testament that speaks this. Have you started figuring it out? Or how about this question? Have you had an opportunity to speak the truth in love to another believer in order to build them up? Did you take that opportunity? How did it go? Did someone take that opportunity with you? How did you receive it? I can tell you this, though. It had better not been in public on Facebook unless it was a word of encouragement, because we all know what that looks like, right? We all know. So this leads us to, I think, thinking about some lessons for us for the online church, some lessons for us in the in-person church in light of this. Because I think we really are tempted to think about attending church, not necessarily belonging to the body. I think we're tempted all the time to think about this. Every time you drive on the property or every time you log in, you're like, I'm going to church, not I belong to the body of Christ. And I think verse 16 here really helps us take a look. Yeah, we belong to the church. We are the church. But our minds are not always oriented that way. And when you attend, are you attending whatever it is, whether it's a service or a community group or anything, are you intending just to receive, or are you intending to receive and contribute? Are you a bit on the sidelines? Are you a bit in observation mode, or do you know that you were designed to work properly with other people and that you have pieces of the puzzle that we all need? We need to hear from you. We need you to know what your giftings are, and we need you to contribute them and do them with character and maturity and in growing. How are we doing about striving to attain unity or striving to win arguments? I mean, can we just be frank? God is trying to teach us and help us to mature in this. We all need to mature in this. The online church, the in-person church, we need to mature in this. And if you feel like you've been blown about lately, that's reality. It's reality, isn't it? We kind of talked about this in the Q&A after the first service, that sense of being blown around. And it really is, it's really being driven by so many of the news cycles as well as what we see online and the kind of the buffeting that our minds and our hearts gets from all these sources. And we do get a sense that we are really blown around. And I think we have a lot to learn about standing together, encouraging one another, good disciplines in online and good disciplines in an in-person church, and some maturity that needs to be gained through character and growing up into the fullness of Christ. And we will be buffeted and tossed to and fro less and less when we can grow in those ways and when we can stand together. Because when you feel like you're only standing out there by yourself, when you feel like you're alone, you can feel tossed around a lot more than when you know you got brothers and sisters who got your back, who are standing with you, who are arm in arm, whether it's your community group or people who are friends with you or people that you know, these are my people, and we're standing together in this, and then you're not blown around so much. As well as we need to learn to work on the skills of having these truth and love conversations. We need to receive it, and we need to work on the skills of doing this, because this is how we grow. It says it right here in the word, in verse 15. This is how we grow, by speaking the truth in love. And you know, a brother who is willing to speak the truth in love wants to see you built up, wants to see you grow, wants to see the better fullness of Christ measured in you, so that we can all achieve this, that we can be built up in love. All these principles really are centered on the body of Christ. He's the head, and we're connected to him. When one part hurts, we all hurt. When one part hurts, we all hurt. When we work properly together, we grow. We're on a fitness plan, so we should expect to see some growing pains from time to time. We should expect to see some tune-ups. We should expect to see some progress. And what we're growing up into is love. That's what we're growing up into. I have to ask myself honestly, how am I doing in this? How am I doing as part of the body of Christ? Is this what I'm experiencing? Is this what I'm contributing to? How am I doing?